here we go. We've wired up, spliced in, we've programmed it. Boom. Now I just need to make that wiring neat. So here we go. We have the Visteon original type central locking control box, just temporarily hanging off the glove box. I got mine with this stub of connector and the wires, and the first thing I did was identify all the different wires that you need to hook up, which basically boils down to the constant 12 volt, the switched 12 volt, the door open closed cabin light signal, the ground, which actually normally is going to pick up ground from being connected to the framework via this, and the signal from the door lock. Well, I say not really the signal. This is the signal line that the regular door locks transmit down. And so what this box is doing is simulating what you do when you stick your key in the lock, which is basically when you put the key in and turn one way or the other way, you're connecting a circuit via one resistor or another resistor, and those different resistance levels is what tells the central locking brain to lock or unlock. So inside here is a little microcosm of that, that when you press the button on your remote, it sends that same resistance level signal down that line. So those are the main ones. This empty one here at the moment is the boot signal line. I don't have any kind of relay or setup in the boot, but I might add that later. So these all connect to this block here. So this block is normally connected to this panel here, just in front of the heater unit. It's unplugged, as you can see at the moment. So this is a bunch of different wires that come from, I guess, the near side of the car. And it contains all of the things that you need. Now, in a car that had central locking, there would have been basically an extra plug off of here, which would be what this is. But in cars without it, there is no plug. They didn't leave it there, which is kind of annoying because this makes this a bit more fiddly than it needs to be. But basically, we have in here, I don't know if you can see, there's an orange wire. The orange wire is your constant 12 volt. Then what sort of leads you down the interesting path here is that when you start looking at some of the wires that come in here and check what they are, like this purple wire is the purple signal wire, nice and easy. But there is no equivalent on this side of the connector. That purple wire comes into this side, and there's not even a spade connector piece of metal. There is no wire, there's no nothing. And that is also true of, there's a black and yellow wire and this red and white wire. The black and yellow wire, as we can see, is connected to the switched live, and that is also black and yellow on this connector. And the white with a red stripe, that is the door closing signal. So what's interesting with the door closing signal is that it actually is, it's like a constant it's like 100 milliamps or something when the door is open, and when the door is closed, that is actually a 12 volt circuit, which is odd to me. But that is obviously important to this box because you need that to do the programming. So when you do the whole, if you've got here, you've almost certainly seen the instructions by now. You turn the ignition not on but all the way to open 3 times, and then you push your door button to simulate the door opening and closing 3 times. Those signals are what tells this to go into pairing mode, and that's the only reason that it needs the switched live and the door signal. So once you've got that connected, you can program it. I just did. And so those are the wires we need to connect. So the only thing I need to figure out is the nicest way to splice them into that block. Now the orange is actually kind of a nuisance because that does connect on both sides. So I can't just pull it out and connect it to this box. I need to do something. To splice in on that one. The rest I might just pull clean out of the back of here and put a bullet connector on. I've currently got bullet connectors on all of these. So that is probably the easiest thing. So it's just a question of the nicest way to splice the constant 12 volt. But that's that. Easy peasy. Okay, and here we are. That is the finished setup. So the main block is back attached to its mount point. I ended up just cutting kind of the 4 wires I needed on this side off the back of the block and just putting it on these bullet connectors. The only fiddly one I say is this, which is the constant live, which already went to both sides. I also put a socket connector on this side, so I make this little Y so that I could splice in this power. But I say these 3 were already not really connected to anything in this block, so it was pretty easy just to pull them out and yeah, run them across. So I might tidy this with a zip tie or something, but fundamentally this is mounted on the original, the correct mount point just up there with a nut. That's where it gets its ground plane from, and that is all wired. Okay, so here we are. MX5 never had the remote originally, but now, yeah. Try and get her framing. Sweet.